Welcome to Shade and the City. I'm your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to get into our late recap. Our apologies. I was on vacay. I was on leave this time, okay? Somebody else can't leave, all right? But I was on leave this time. So we apologize, but we are here to do the love that happens after the lockup. This is season 6, episode 9. So this is the one prior to the finale or the episode that just dropped tonight. So yeah, y'all.
Love and vengeance.
Love and vengeance. Thank you. So if you haven't already, please make sure you guys hit that like button for us.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into these crazy couples because it was a lot. I felt like I got some decent couples, but I was so mad I got Savannah and Bradley. But it's going to be quick and to the point, so we ain't going to have a long time to talk about, okay? So let's get shady. Okay, y'all. Let's kick it off with Alexis and Julius. Ignore that other girl, all right? So Alexis rolls up to Julius, as we know, in the parking lot. And I ain't even going to hold you. Alexis looks crazy. She looks, I'm sorry, broken down and busted, all right? And I feel bad for her. However, she's looking at, well, who are all these girls around you? And he claims that, we just out shopping for clothes, but she's confused as to why you need other women to help you go shopping.
Where the hell they came
from? You have one. And so Julius tells her, you know what? We were just vibing in the studio, you know? And so she was like, well, why are you out here vibing with other girls and you're in a whole relationship? And so she asked, well, why didn't you answer my calls? And he claims, because I was in the studio, but we all know he wasn't.
And regardless, you out now. Why you ain't coming back?
So he's, man, we good. We good, man. We good.
No, we not. That's why I'm here.
And so Alexis tells him that, look, you just a little too nonchalant for me. And she's frustrated because he doesn't know that she's pregnant yet. And she feels like he's playing in her face, and he absolutely is. And so Alexis wants to know, well, who are these two girls standing over here freaking frack? And why are they in my car? And so one of the ladies says, excuse me. What's your name?
No, that was not giving that smooth.
So she said, nah, girl, that ain't me. I'm not here for that. I'm here on business. What she said, she a video. They video girls.
You know, the first time they said it, I had to rewind it. I thought I heard them wrong.
I ain't even gonna hold you. And this is not to be disrespectful to anybody because I actually like this person, but the only videos I see them getting in is maybe like a sexy red.
No, that's not the type of videos I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't thinking even music. I said, what type of videos, girl? It's not music videos because that's not
it's terrible. I was thinking more BET Uncut, but I'm gonna be quiet now. Then the lady said that, look, they just there for business. They not pressed for Julius. And my notes say I'm irritated because Alexis keeps questioning him and he can't even look her in her face or give her a real response. My notes say, why haven't you taken your keys and left at this point, Alexis? So Julius says, you know what? I'm a rapper and I'm going to have to be around women. So she got to get used to it. And then he gets off in her car.
Did he put the girls back in the car?
Yeah, put the girls back in the car. Disrespectful.
Let me tell you something. Maybe she wasn't trying to do nothing because she was pregnant.
You know what I think? I think that he went because did the girls return when he came back or they were gone? Oh, they did. So I would thought he went to drop them off. I was like, well, at least let me take you home because I'm sorry I got you involved in my bullshit.
I just know I remember them saying Call us. So I think that was like at the end of the conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, child. I don't know. Again, they just extras. They
I
not
think
main
he did.
characters.
Child
They
extras.
just extras. They're not main character. They
No,
they're not main girls.
girl, please. We know even what extras got to look like.
You still right. So then Alexis is all upset and she threatens to call his PO, and Julius comes back with her car. And I guess the ladies, as Nels is reporting, and gives her keys. And she tells Julius, you know what, make sure that you go in there alone. And I'm like, oh, this just irritated my soul. I was so disgusted. She's literally sitting there gonna watch him walk in. Like when she leave and pull off, I just didn't understand. I just didn't understand. So you know what? He said, and so then her friend, I think her homegirl was named Maya. She said, you know what? You actually let him get away without answering you. And I love how Maya held her to task. Okay. She was like, this nigga's embarrassing you. He ain't answering no questions. And you letting him play in your face.
Well,
And
but what am I to do? Should I? Are you saying I should just leave?
and then she's like, oh, and oh, I love when she tells her, and you don't need to bring a baby into this bullshit. And I said, well,
You know they was
and
just on online just fighting just
yeah.
recently. She put him
Hmm.
out.
Yeah. And so Maya tells her she wants better for her and she doesn't want to see her keep going through this. Um, and Alexis says, you know, in her confessional, she knows she deserves better as well, but she ain't gonna do better. Or maybe she is doing better now. I don't know, according to the alleged report from Nails. I know, but
No,
I know they was
no,
fighting online.
no, that don't mean she doing better. That gives me she do that every other week.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it gives. That's what it gives.
All right. Next up
Woo!
is
I
Joey and
think y'all are going to have a very, very y'all might not like my opinion on this one.
I
Go
was cool
ahead.
with this one.
Huh?
I said I was cool with this one. Um,
But whose side? I don't want to say whose side were you on. Go ahead.
so Joey and Michael are leaving Joey's family's cookout. Joey is under the impression that, Michael didn't feel ganged up on and everything went well. But Michael let him know when they got to the car that that was a whole lot. Okay. And Joey started to notice that the more he pushes, the more Michael is pulling away. So Joey tells him that, his family's not spiteful people. They're just going to love him no matter what. And Michael's like, no, they ain't gonna love me no matter what, especially if I'm the cause of your downfall or I'm a bad influence. But he says, using isn't even on his mind, but also said that, but right now he doesn't have an idle mind. So basically, who knows when he's left alone with his thoughts. Um, Joey said that is a big part of the reason why he even relapsed and, also being lonely. Okay, well, basically, he said, after that, then he met Michael and they don't have to deal with that anymore because now they have each other. And Michael in the confessional said that 3 out of the 4 people sitting at that table didn't believe that this relationship was going anywhere. And he can see now that they're probably right. And then basically broke up with this man. Initially, Joey is thinking this is a joke. He was like, y'all,
All right. Am I being punked?
right? What is going on? And Michael said, no, I'm dead ass.
Yeah. He said, I don't want to do this.
Basically told him that, he apologized. He was like, just be mad at me. Don't cry or nothing. Then he told him that, he doesn't feel like they're connecting like they were before and said that he knows that he's going to mess up and told him that he told Joey that he's too good for him. So, of course, Joey's pissed. He said that he's been out for a whole 2 days and he don't even want to try. Michael said basically he just knows that he's wasting Joey's time. So in the confessional, Michael said when they didn't have sex the first night in the hotel, he knew that they were doomed because he wasn't even wanting it like that. He had no desire. He basically told Michael to leave him alone. He said that he wants to be alone. And he's telling production, like, he's just like, is this for real? Like, is this my life right now? And Michael, tried to chase him down, and Joey was just so pissed. He said, that basically he called him a chicken shit. okay, and told him, it's not even about me. It's about the fact that you don't even want to do better for yourself, which, I mean, I would think that Joey would find super unattractive, and
I
basically
was
told
thinking
him
that same thing.
to leave him the hell alone. And I feel like we knew this was going to happen. I just didn't know Michael was actually going to be the one to
The
like
one to
save
do
him.
it.
Yeah. Well, no. I knew I knew Joey was not going to walk away from Michael, but I didn't think Michael was going to actually say it. I can respect the fact that he told him. I thought that he was just going to push him away and like hang out and be
And
with his
play with,
friends.
yeah, and play with his
Exactly.
mom. Yeah.
Like Julius,
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but I can respect the fact that he did just tell him like, I'm not messing with nobody, but the connection ain't there no more, and I just want to do me.
That's why obviously I didn't have the unpopular opinion because I respected Michael with my whole chest. I was like, I know Joey's hurt. We feel bad for Joey, but he is saving Joey in the long run, and hopefully Joey saves himself and walks away,
Mhm.
like for real, and doesn't let Michael slip back in or try. But yeah, he doesn't mean him no well. I don't think that. I mean, I wish the best for Michael, but I don't think he's gonna go too much further, but I also don't think he's gonna get better if he's with somebody he doesn't want to be with.
Mhm.
It's just gonna put more stress on him and probably cause him to relapse. And obviously, the goal is to better himself and stay clean and stay out of jail. So,
Yeah.
yep. All right, let's move on to Quiana and Damoderick.
Woo-wee.
All
Girl, you
right.
got all the drama. You got
I
all the
know, I did. I
drama.
did. Look, I go on vacation. They said, but you gonna work. All right, so
You better work,
you
bitch.
better work. Okay, so Demodrick lies to Kiana and tells her that he's going to work at his concrete job, but really he's going to see Joella. So Kiana gets to work, and her coworkers realize, well, girl, what was wrong with you? So she tells them about Joella being down at the cookout, and her coworkers notice,
I
what,
love her
what's
coworkers.
that on your finger, girl? So, and then she tells him, oh, he proposed, he put the ring on top of the cake, and we engaged.
Did you hear her say he asked
Did,
me to
did
marry
he get
him?
on one knee?
No, no. What you call? She said, Kiana said he asked me to marry him. No, he didn't, girl.
Right. And but then her homegirl said, or her whoever she worked with, her coworker was like, well, did he get on one knee? And she was like, no, he don't. And so that's why he was like, oh, so he gave you a little pop in a box. And that was so cute. I laughed at it. But
Did you see when he looked at the ring? He's like, "Oh yeah, this is
he
cute."
said that's cute. And so
He full of it because that is a nice ring.
it is. So they ask her, why she seems so unhappy. And Kiana says that she's just waiting to see how he acts. And so basically they say, girl, well, that means you probably shouldn't be getting married to this man. So then Demodrick goes to visit Joella and see his sons, and he admits that he feels like he's living two different lives right now. He obviously loves Kiana because she held him down while he was locked up, but he also loves Joella because that's the mother of his kids, and so it is what it is. So then he breaks the news to Joella that he has technically gotten engaged to Kiana. And she said, I don't really think that's smart. And so and she said she thought he would come back home. She left the door open like an idiot. And
Well, I can understand why she thought he would come
well,
back home.
you know what's so
It
funny
seemed
though?
like he never left.
That part, but we'll get there. I got something to say about that. So Joella says, well, you can't keep coming over here like that. And he's like, I understand what that means. And so then she says, you need to be cool if I decide that I want to, move on. And he's like, well, yeah, as long as the person is, good to the kids and, yeah. And so Joella admits that, I do feel a little bit played. And when they ask her in confessional if she thinks they'll be married, she says, hell no. Mm-mm. And if they do, Kiana is going to be dealing with some stuff because she knows he'll come back. So then Kiana goes through Demodrick's phone and finds out that he's been entertaining Joella. And so she kicked him out, and now he's at his daddy's house moping around. And so when production asked him about it, he
Old ass daddy playing video games.
yeah. So
He's full of grays. Like, when does it stop?
it apparently it doesn't. So Demodrick said, he's trying to figure out what he can do to get Kiana back. Now she link up with her friend, didn't get the friend name, but she doesn't think that he's gonna ever stop messing with Joella because they have kids and that's forever. And she talks about how she found texts of Joella telling him that she's gonna be upset because she's on her cycle. And so she clearly knows that they clearly plan to get down on it. Get down on it. And so Quiana tells her homegirl that she's tired of dealing with Joella because she's been dealing with her since high school. And basically at this point, she wants him to come up with another bitch. Okay. And I said, be careful what you ask for. So then her homegirl says, Quiana has a pattern of picking men that are emotionally unavailable and don't value her. I said, dang. Well, you know your friend. And then she gets a call from Damoderick wanting to talk about where they're going from here. And so she agrees. And then she goes home and starts emptying out his closet and tells him to get the rest of his stuff and get out. And I said, well, stand on business. Mean that.
Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm gonna be honest. So here's my thing. What I was gonna say earlier, the reason why you notice he was willing, he's like, I want to get her back. I got to do whatever to get her back. I think the reason he's so maybe is attracted to Quiana is because she's willing to say, get out and I'll be without you. Whereas Joella is just like, I'll take you back. I'll let you come as you are. I'll let you do what you want to do and run up in here.
Because he knows she's there.
Right, but that's what, and I think that's why he values them differently. Because you see how he's like, oh, Quiana, but he still run back to Joella. He clearly cares about both of them, but I think he respects Quiana a little bit. I don't even want to say respects, but for whatever reason, he values
like the chase, child.
Or to your point, he likes the lion gazelle. Okay, right. All right.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was disappointed. I was like, "Girl, why you even answering his phone call? And you gonna talk about something? I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna let you know when I get home." Then when she got home and she was packing up his stuff, I was like, oh, "Okay, girl."
Right. Okay, girl. Yeah, because I was worried about it. So I was like, not her going over there. That's why I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be interested when I do watch it because I know we got to give y'all episode 10. And we're gonna definitely work on getting that to you sooner rather than later. But I'm thinking about it. I'm like, a lot of these couples, what else do you really have to show us for episode 10? This really could have been the finale. I mean, outside of the only people that weren't on here were what? Brooklyn and Brian.
You know, who was it? Savannah. After Savannah and Bradley shoot, I thought it was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We didn't need it. We didn't need another. So I'll really be interested to see what episode 10 actually has in it. But who are we moving on to next?
Will and Courtnee.
Your favorite.
Okay, so Will surprised Courtney with a date, you know, for her to fly a plane. Apparently it was a simulator. But you know,
I thought this was so adorable.
It was, and it looked real. So, you know, she's being a little bitchy, and I had completely forgot that last episode we started off, well, we ended with them, you know, having a little spat about the night before. So, the instructor basically, I thought it was funny because this was giving me such Treese vibes. The instructor is, you know, giving her instructions and basically told her the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. And she looked right at him and said, I agree. Because remember, she was getting on his ass about why he didn't say nothing that night. Oh, you little shady ass. Now, you know, she said regardless, she is thankful for this thoughtful date, but she's conflicted because it's stuck in her mind that he doesn't trust her. Now, she did say that this is something that she always wanted, was someone who believed in her, and she let him know that this was a great start to the day, but you know, the stuff in the car really pissed her off. And asked him basically, like, you think I would risk our future? He was like, well, would you? She was like, why would I get married then?
Right.
I mean,
well, so can I ask you a question? Because remember, I thought Courtney really liked him. And now I'm starting to question.
And I told you it's giving.
Now I'm starting to question her motives and her, because she seemed.
When I was questioning it, I was tripping. Really?
You right? You got it. You got that one off. You got that one. I can admit when it's just wrong, and I was. Yeah, she did. I'm not saying she has ulterior motives, but she's definitely not. She know what Will got, and she's playing. She's playing him. She's playing him.
So then back in the car, he tries to start up a conversation, and she's just sitting there, like, basically, she's like, "I'm just waiting for you to open my door." I was like, "Oh, okay." So then they get to a
You didn't
sandwich
see when
shop.
she said something, when she was like, a puddle, Will?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, bitch.
she think Will is the golden retriever, and that's not what he giving. Okay.
No, he's
Um,
giving flurries, or whatever.
so then they get to a sandwich shop, and he told her order whatever she wants. He said, "You can have whatever you like."
And
And she
she
said,
said,
"I
it's
don't want."
a
She said,
sandwich?
"I don't want nothing." She said, "I don't want nothing." So then he ordered for the both of them. And in the confessional, she said that these trust issues are triggering for her because she dealt with them, with an ex, where he a-worded her in the past. So then when they sat down at the table, she basically flipped out. It really felt like it just came out of nowhere.
Right.
And she was like, "I don't know why we're at a sandwich shop for our first date," and asked him if he was broke. He said,
You know what?
"No."
So I'm gonna be honest with you. That was the moment when I said she don't like him. Because even if, and you know me, you gotta feed me. And sometimes, yes, I can be a little hot sedity, and I don't want to go. Yeah, I don't
Well,
want to
this
go
is like
sit
a
down.
gourmet sandwich shop. This is
Right.
not like
Well,
a
sometimes I don't want
Subway.
to sit down at Jersey Mike's. I want to
This
go.
wasn't a Jersey Mike's. These were like $15 sandwiches.
Look. Sometimes I just want to go to Olive Garden. Okay, it's a different. It's levels to this, so I can understand. So
You
I can
you you
understand.
lost
Look, eating free soup,
you lost me there.
but I can understand where she was coming from. But I wouldn't have delivered it like that. Now
Yeah,
I
I
can
mean,
say maybe
really,
because she was
really,
mad.
when they were at the register, like if she didn't want a sandwich, she could have just been like, "I'm not in the mood for a sandwich. Can we get something else or something like that?" But to
Mhm.
be like, "Why are we, at a sandwich shop for our first date? Are you broke?" What?
Yeah,
So he
no,
was
that's what I'm saying. It was the delivery because I would have been like, well, babe, and I would have been like, I was maybe expecting something a little nicer for our first date. And kick it up a notch. And I'm not saying it has to be Ruth Chris, but I would have liked to been, someone serve us, and we have a couple. Well, I don't know if she can drink, but we sit and we talk, and sit amongst others. Yeah, that's how I would have been.
he's a damn lie.
That's after therapy.
Not
That's not
even.
pre-therapy.
Not even. That's
Look, pre-therapy might have been Courtney.
Chris. That's
Nigga, are
that's
you
what.
broke?
No, honey, that's with the script. Okay, that's with the script. That is not even after therapy. So he's like, "No, I literally just shoveled out 10 bands to get you out." So she was like, "What's next?
And see, I would have
Souvenirs?"
thought about that too. I would have thought about too. This I spent a lot of money.
We've
I need to.
been, but remember, we've been talking about, because we was like, damn, like scrunchies or whatever. But remember, we was like, or the dress. He was like, well, he had to spend bad
Right,
bread. We know he did.
right. And her
Um,
ring cost 10,000.
her ring cost exactly. So that's what I'm saying. He's been
And
spending
the
bread.
way she took it off like that, like it was not.
And slammed it on the table. Look, I hope it's insurance because that rock may be a little loose. Um, so then she's like, "So what's next? A souvenir shop?" He said, "Yeah, if you keep on acting like that, I'll put your ass up on the shelf." I said, "Oh shit."
I said, not Will got clap back.
I said, "Okay, well." And then she want to act like she is just deeply hurt by this comment that he made. Basically, took her ring off, slams it on the table, like we just said, walks out talking about how she's going to take the bus. So then he follows her out and feels, he told her she feels like he feels like she's being ungrateful. He's like, "I just spent 10 bands on your ring, 5 bands on the
Right.
clothes, 2 bands on the officiant." Now that I think you lying about, Will, because you can
Okay.
get an officiant for $30 to $50. Like
Ooh.
2 bands on an officiant, sir.
Well, maybe that's how much they cost out there. They say Oregon. Maybe I need to go to
I,
Oregon.
I don't think so. I
Oh.
don't I don't I don't buy that. But he said that also, he spent a couple bands on the weekend and said that she got a couple bands in her pocket and told her that she had sugar daddies the whole time. And he knows that she didn't get rid of them because he started her phone. So she's like, "What? What? What?" You was going through my phone. He said, no, you
Invading
answered
my
the phone right
privacy?
next to me, huh?
Invade my privacy?
He was like, no, you be answering the text while you sitting right next to me. And in a confessional, he said when she was in prison, he didn't even care that she had sugar daddies that gave her money. And really,
Because he
he
won't go do it.
encouraged it because he said I wasn't going to do it. So she said, if you provided a little bit more, I wouldn't have to go to them. He said, this is a partnership. I ain't no babysitter, no child care provider. Okay. And she said, no, it's taking care of your wife. Then he told her to catch the bus, bitch, and walked off. I said, oh, goodness. I was like, okay, well, we see them old party day Will coming out. All right.
Okay.
This ain't Will that be stuck up in the office at work all day. We see you. We see
This is furry flurry Will.
you.
So let's move on.
It's her face.
It is not. I like Richmond, Virginia. That is my happy place. Yes, it is, but not with them two in it. So Savannah goes, and I am nowhere in them parts where them, they building them plantation like mansions. Anyway, so Savannah goes for a walk with Alyssa, and we learn Bradley has been at the dad's house for a week, so they haven't really talked, and Alyssa wants to know what that means. So she tells Savannah, Alyssa tells Savannah that, time is ticking, bitch, and y'all almost 30. And she suggests, why don't you do a pop-up at his job?
You think that was a setup?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, you said dirty.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And the crazy part about it is your man warned you and said he did not want you to have a friendship with he can barely get along with her. Bradley had been telling her this the whole time. And the point was, I'm sorry to say it, I think that maybe they used together. This is alleged. This is just my opinion. I think that they probably used together back in the day, but they were never friends. They were never friends, not in my opinion. I don't think they were ever friends. No. Her loyalty was always going to be to her brother. Mm-hmm. Her brother don't even really like her. They were never friends. We saw that. So anyway, Savannah doesn't want to do it, but Alyssa tells her, go for it. And also advises that, sometimes you need to shut up. So Savannah is dumb and hopeful that this will work. Once she leaves, Alyssa admits that she doesn't even want them together and says they're doing worse together than they are apart. And that's why the family don't mess with her. And I said, yeah. And the fact that, and it could be acting, it could be script, whatever. There's no way I would ever sit and then we're going to be up online and acting like it's cool after I seen that play out on camera. And you said that we're not friends. So Savannah is stupid enough to listen to Alyssa, and she plans to pull up to the job. She tries to call multiple times. I'll give her that. And he's at work, and looking at what he's doing, it don't look like he really could be on his phone like that. I'm gonna give Bradley some grace. And shout out to
he did see the call, but you're right. It doesn't look like he can be on his phone.
And shout out to cousin Lauren. I had to give her things. Y'all know she was a guest host while Nels was out on her vacay when she had some leave. But cousin Lauren predicted this, and she don't even watch the show. She only watched this one good time. But she said Bradley is focused on his bread, and he is not worried about this girl. He might like it every now and then, but he's really focused on building himself back up and getting himself together. So I can appreciate that. And shout out to cousin Lauren for being exactly right. So his friends are asking about her, and they're like, well, why are you with her if you don't like her so much? Because he talking about how controlling she is. And Bradley actually claims that he loves her. He's just hopeful that she can change and grow up, and she can't because she's very childish right now. Bradley, he feels like she doesn't trust him and is pushing him away. Then after she called 4 times and he ignores it, she pulls up. So he tells his boss, look, I need to go handle it. And he lets him know, don't bring this bullshit to the workplace. And I ain't going to hold you. Again, I was not mad at Bradley. Unpopular opinion, I was not mad at Bradley. Mm-hmm. This is my employment. I just got out of jail. I need this job.
Mm-hmm.
You claim you want to keep me on the straight and narrow, but you're so selfish and unemotionally stable that you show up at my job. You would have been better off showing up at my daddy's house.
Mm.
Wouldn't that have made more sense?
Well, it
But
depends
she's
on how,
childish and
look,
she's
look,
listening to somebody who's not her friend.
look. It depends on who lives there because she might get jumped. You know, don't none of them like her.
Well, that part. Well, I will hope the sister ain't at home because they all too grown. But anyway, so basically, he goes up to her and he's like, what are you doing here? She says, well, the dog missed his dad. Juice or whatever his name is. And she wants to know, well, why do you seem happy? And he tells her, because bitch, you're at my job. Unannounced.
And it's not an emergency.
So he going off on Savannah, and no, and so then and he goes away. He's like, look, I don't even know what to say to you right now. He's like, you look crazy. What I'm not gonna do is look crazy. I'm gonna go back to work. You need to go. Get yourself together. I don't understand. And so then she's in the car calling her mama, crying, and her mama's like, Savannah, you need lead him. You need to stop trying to control everything. Why are you at this man's job, Savannah? You look crazy. Savannah, bring your ass home. So finally he come after that. I guess they've ended their work day, but she sits outside there the whole time crying and whining. But I gotta do, and we both need to work on ourselves. And I feel like we can work this out. And I'm just like, break up, please. I want the same thing Alyssa wants at this point. So he finally goes to talk to her, tells her she acts like a child, and he wants to know, what do we need to do to get through this? So Savannah refuses to talk about it on camera, apparently. And next thing we know, he leaves. So he gets unmiked and they say, well, do you want to go talk to Savannah? So he gets unmiked and he goes off with her. And then we get a video because Savannah has refused to film anymore. We get a video of him saying that he did go to Savannah's house. They made up that night. And then a week and a half later, they broke up again because she started with her same shit. And so, he says that chapter is done and he'll be moving on, moving on.
I know we ain't surprised about this either.
And I ain't surprised, and I'm happy for you, Bradley. Like I said, shout out to cousin Lauren because she blessed us with her presence, but she had a great prediction because what she said was absolutely right. All right. Brooke and JK. This is really Nell's fave. I was so happy I didn't get this.
Look, I'd rather them than Savannah and Drake.
No, Brooke was a fucking fool.
This
And
is like
I would have read her down.
So Brooke said that she's glad to be back at work with her mom, but she is still missing JK. Now she said he's supposed to be looking for a job, but he's at his mama's house getting a call from his ex, Alex, telling him to come over. He said he doesn't want to ruin anything between him and Brooke, although, he does feel kind of bad. He said he gonna go see Alex for, a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Just to say hi.
These hoes ain't loyal.
But he said that they're both different. Alex used to let him get his way, while Brooke is super controlling and it makes him miss Alex. Then Brooke checks his location and sees that he is in Mart. And she knows that's where Alex lives. So she starts blowing up his phone, leaving him messages, and voice messages talking about how she knows he's at his ex's house. He said it was nice to see Alex because, it just felt natural. But he also wanted to express how she made him feel, when she cheated on him. He gets into this letter that she wrote him, talking about how much she loves him and she apologizes for what she did. But he said that he feels like if she really did love him, she would have never done any of it. Now, in the midst of this conversation, Brooke is still blowing up this man's phone. And he's worried that she knows where he's at. Well, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
He definitely does. So then Brooke basically told her mama, look, F this job. Okay. I gotta go find this man and find out what the hell going
She
on.
know her mama ain't gonna fire her.
She want to put them paws off
Clearly, when her
God.
mama told her to get them kids and she still didn't come and she kept them for another day, she know her mama ain't doing nothing.
Child. Well, you know
And
what?
and I hate to say it, but her mama getting on her, but that's part of the problem.
Hmm.
You are part of the problem with Brooke because
This
you let her get away with the bullshit.
this is what we need to see in the season finale.
What?
This him.
Oh, Brooke and
Her.
JK and Brooklyn
I want to
are.
see if she pull up while he there.
Mm, well, I'm sure that's a lawsuit coming. So yeah, guys, and if I'm not mistaken, like Nell said, just to give you guys some updates of what we've seen on like social media, I do believe Julius and Alexis are broken up. She kicked him out the house. I think he did a whole thing about how he left her, and it's just I don't think we care. Savannah and Bradley, we know they've been broken up. I think Joey and Mike are still broken up, and we know Brooke and JK we're supposed to be having a baby, but I don't think they're together either. And I guess they'll give us updates on all. Maybe that's what they're doing, episode 10. I don't know. Um, I just again I feel like they could have wrapped it up in 9. But okay, I get it. Y'all trying to do better with your seasons. Don't come back with 11, 12, and let's cut it off. And let's do season 7, please. Don't come here with let's not do a 50 episode. Let's not do that again. Love after lockup. All right, but we appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button for us.
Make sure you comment
Make sure you guys subscribe.
and you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the Blue Sky, IG, TikTok, and the Facebook, y'all. And can I just tell you, I was live skying today, y'all. I be skying. I be doing my thing, even though I don't like to be in the sky, as y'all have seen. But anyway, so yeah, y'all, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like I said, forgive us. We will make sure that we get you episode 10 ASAP. And yeah, y'all have a good one. Enjoy your Memorial weekend. Be safe out here in these streets. And we love y'all and enjoy the long weekend. Bye bye.